It's become part of the city's culture, identity, history. But this sport goes beyond the fortress. The Scarlet and Gray.
The UNLV men's hockey team has dominated.
Or Boys in Silver.
It's a great opportunity, it's a great challenge, it's the right time. It feels right.
The Monsters in the North.
The Golden Knights are beefing up their minor leagues with the Night Monsters.
Night Monsters all the way.
We are super excited.
And the next generation.
Covering the stars of tomorrow.
They live at the rink. They love the game.
Vegas wanted hockey. Vegas got hockey.
Covering every local team on the ice. This is Hockey in the Desert Weekly.
Theodore's shot did not make it through. Paulson across, score! Reilly Smith!
Welcome inside another edition of Hockey in the Desert Weekly. I'm your host, Vince Sapienza, and what a week it was for the Medieval Maniacs as Reilly Smith became the first player in franchise history acquired twice. We'll have plenty more on the return of the original Misfit, but first let's fire home a snapshot of what is in store. Over the next 30 minutes, we'll look back at all the action from the Knights this past week. We'll hear from General Manager Kelly McCrimmon, not only about the trade to get Smith back, about what went in return as well. We bring you the genesis story of the Wyatt brothers, helping elevate the Skatin Rebels program. Looking ahead to Nationals with UNLV Hockey captain Mattias Del Monte here in studio.
I was really happy. I was really excited to bring Reilly back. You guys probably have got a sense of how happy he is. You know, I opened the call by saying I'm more excited about this call than I was the last time I phoned you. And that goes back, of course, to being in Nashville at the draft. Was a complete pro throughout, and that speaks to who he is, the character he has. You know, I think he has a lot of respect for the organization. We have a lot of respect for him. That's why this came to be, and a need. It was exactly what we needed. So, you know, the backstory is really neat, and I'm really happy for all of those reasons. This was about our hockey team. You know, that's why we acquired him.
So here's a look at what the trade looked like in full. The Golden Knights get Smith, while the New York Rangers retained 50% of what was left on his $3.75 million cap hit, and in return, they get a 2025 third-round pick and Brendan Brisson. Now, Brisson was a former first-round draft pick taken 29th overall in the 2020 draft by Vegas. The 23-year-old played in 24 games for the Golden Knights, scoring twice and putting up 8 points. Brisson spent most of his time in the American Hockey League with the Silver Knights, playing in 164 games for Henderson, totaling 102 points.
Brendan Brisson's a talented young offensive player that we think and hope a change will help him. And it's he's had real growth in his game in terms of the things that he needed to get better at, the things that he's always been good at. He's been snake bit, and sometimes young players need a change, and I think it'll help him. New York will assign him to Hartford, and I think that you know, they're going to give him a chance.
Now, the deal was official Thursday afternoon, and while there was a ton of excitement from the Medieval Maniacs, it didn't become real until Friday morning, when Vegas's original number 19 stepped onto the ice at City National Arena.
I think I was recognized more in the 5 minutes after I landed last night at 1:30 than I have in the last year and a half. So the fan base here has been so special to myself and my family. They welcomed us here when we were here 8 years ago and made it a home for us.
And it's home once again. He said he was in disbelief when he got the text from his agent.
Yeah, I talked to Carl and Keegan and a couple of the other guys pretty quickly. I wanted to make sure that I wasn't getting punked initially, so I didn't want to start sending out a bunch of texts and phone calls and then have everything come back on me. So I tried to play it cool for a little bit and let the dust settle.
Smith says he and his family kept their house, making the transition back to Vegas as seamless as possible.
It's really nice when you get traded. There's always so much new change, not just the stuff on the ice, but everything around it. So to be able to come back here and have so much familiarity, it definitely feels like coming home a little bit. This was at the top of our list, and how things worked out, we couldn't have been happier. So it's definitely been a whirlwind of the last 24 hours, but it's been a great whirlwind. With this organization, win a Stanley Cup at the end, and then play for 2 different teams in a year and a half, and not having the success that we had here is definitely a little bit tough, and excited about that fact of coming back here. Playoffs are nice. It's something that I always feel like brings the best out of me, and something I want to help this team push towards.
So just a couple hours after morning skate, Reilly Smith made his familiar walk inside the Fortress with Keegan Colasar, the original Misfit, back in Vegas gold for the first time since winning the Cup. His return also marked game number 400 in a VGK sweater. But we go straight to the action where it's Tanner Pearson getting the party started, cashing in from the slot. But as good as that was, taking a look at this pass from the captain. Mark Stone with the defender on his back delivers a no-look dime to Pearson for his 11th of the year. It's 1-0 Vegas after 1. So we jump to the second where the puck absolutely jumps off the stick of Ivan Barbashev. A slingshot snipe top shelf. His 19th of the season, Knights up 2-2, 2 minutes into the final frame. Brandon Saad continuing to make the Penguins very sod. Off the rush, Grips rips his 10th of the year, 3rd since signing with Vegas, and then just 54 seconds later, it's the Knights playing a little game of tic-tac-goal. Stone crashing the crease, Deeks dances, delivers his 17th of the campaign. Ilya Samsonov made 22 saves in total for his 2nd shutout of the year, and a 4-0 win. But here's Smith on what his first game back was like.
On the ice, there's things that I could do better, but just the off-ice in and outs, things that you just mentioned, it's weird. It feels like it was a couple days ago, not a year and a half ago. So you kind of get into the same routines, and just out of memory and not really thinking of it, you're doing the same thing you were doing a year and a half ago. It's special to be a part of this group again. They've done a lot of great things in this organization, and from day one, that was kind of the motto. So to be able to be back here and have everything kind of transitioned seamlessly for me so far in the last day and a half, it's definitely a breath of fresh air, and it makes this change much easier.
All right, back to the Fortress one more time, closing out the homestand against LA. The Kings up 3-0 early in the second, so Nick Hague decides to bring the fight with his fist, dropping the gloves with Samuel Hellenius to get the crowd on their feet. It also did wonders for the bench. A couple minutes later, Nick Waugh curls into the slot and rips a backhand through the pads of David Riddick. His 8th of the season. Reilly Smith in his 900th NHL game gets his first assist since his return to Vegas, but they weren't done there. The guys in gold getting a little hurdle power. Tomas Hertl scores on almost the exact same looking play as Waugh rips this one far side. It's a 1-goal game, but Vegas trailed 4-2 after 2. 5 goals were scored in total in the final frame. We fast forward under 3 to play. Vegas down 2, make it 1. We've got ourselves a Hertl hat trick, ladies and gentlemen. With the extra attacker, Stone puts it in front for Hertl, and just like that, the Caps come crashing down. However, that is as close as this one would get. Vegas' winning streak is snapped. They fall 6-5.
Wasn't ready. We fell asleep, and LA jump on us, and they kind of dominate first, but and after the first one, Hager make it, he kind of fight for us and give us the energy, and we play great hockey. And after that, like kind of small details decided, because when we score a couple, we just give up kind of just easy goal, and we have to learn from it, because this is tough loss, when you somebody right behind you.
It can be a humbling game. Didn't see this one coming, as I said. But it's not who we are. Typically, our identity is we're much better one-on-one, so that's why I think it'll get better. As I said, our puck play, we've had our ups and downs, but not to the point of tonight. We're typically better than that, so I believe that'll take care of itself. And being ready to play at 7 o'clock on Tuesday will be the talking point, because that hurt us tonight.
Despite all the ice, we're just getting warmed up here on Hockey in the Desert Weekly. When we return, I'll show you how the Golden Knights are not just trying to grow the game here in the Valley, but more specifically the girls' game with the help of a U.S. Olympian. Details on the other side.
You're watching Hockey in the Desert Weekly.
Welcome back inside Hockey in the Desert Weekly. I'm Vince Sapienza. Following a fantastic February, March has been a little more up and down for HSK with 5 wins, 5 losses. Case in point, this weekend, go to the Stronghold where on Saturday the Silver Knights pulled off an epic comeback and did so thanks to Tanner Lazinski, who returned to the lineup after 2 weeks due to injury. The Tan Man potted a pair of goals, including the game winner in the third. Henderson take game 1, but they fall on Sunday 5-1. Now attention all Medieval Maniac memorabilia collectors. This past week, the Golden Knights have gave away a chance bobblehead, which will pair nicely with this Silver Knights Lucky bobblehead giveaway later this month, March 28th to be exact, at Lee's Family Forum. I do believe this is the first team issued HSK bobblehead in franchise history. And bringing it back home, earlier this month, the Golden Knights organization announced the return of the Bauer Empowered program, returning for a 3rd year. It's an 8-week program that'll be held this summer at Hilo Park, teaching the fundamentals to girls ages 5 to 12. Run by all-female coaches, it includes both on and off-ice skill development. The cost is $195 per player. That covers the ice and staffing. All the necessary equipment needed will be provided free of charge by Bauer, and they will get fitted for that equipment this coming May. The children must be a member of USA Hockey, and the number of signups will be capped at 40.
It's been such a success the last 2 years that we usually have 30 girls. This year we've increased it to have 40 girls. So all brand new head-to-toe equipment. They're going to get their fitting done with an Olympian, give them that inspiration. Their very first touch point in hockey is going to be with an Olympian. All brand new equipment, so they're going to look good, they're going to feel good, and hopefully they're going to play good, and we can continue having very good girls hockey here in Las Vegas.
Low and static now. Sharp angle, fires, blocked, rebound, loose to Pauls. Score!
And over the weekend in Tahoe, the Night Monsters put on a show, scoring 7 unanswered goals Saturday night against Rapid City. The team in teal took 2 of 3 from the rush over the weekend and currently sit 3rd in the division, 5th in the conference, and 9th in the league with 13 games to go. We'll be right back. Welcome back inside Hockey in the Desert Weekly. I'm Vince Sapienza. If you were to ask the Skatin Rebels program to define the locker room, the leaders would use the word brotherhood. And for a pair of players on the roster, that means more than most. Over the years, UNLV Hockey has seen 3 pairs of siblings share the ice. Most recently this season with the Wyatt brothers.
I actually didn't like hockey at first as a kid, but he kept playing, so I was kind of forced to keep playing, and eventually it kind of worked out for both of us.
Me and our cousins are pretty close too. We all played hockey, so I think it was, you know, one of those things where he wanted to be with us, play with us, and I'm glad we got him into it and he stuck with it.
Cole and Jackson Wyatt were born 14 months apart and grew up in Sherwood Park, Alberta, Canada. They started playing on the same hockey team in Adam AA for the Strathcona Warriors. Cole was 11, Jack's 10.
Obviously competitive. He was always a little older, so I got to learn off him, and I was always a young kid on the team, and he was kind of the vet, so I got pushed around early, but I think it toughened me up.
We've won a lot of championships together, a lot of national championships growing up, so no one moment, but I've had a lot of fun over the years with him.
I started off as a goalie actually, and after he couldn't score me anymore, I had to go to defense, so kind of to switch it up.
That's everything. Growing up, we were really close. We got to hang out lots. We had similar friends. And then obviously the hockey aspect, we were on many of the same teams, playing together. And then obviously coming out here and having him follow me out here the next year. It's been great. You know, my family can spend a lot of time down here, and it's just so much fun to play college, go to school, and do it with my brother.
After playing half a dozen years together on various teams, Cole was recruited to the UNLV Hockey program in 2021, with Jax following suit the very next season.
As kids, we argued a lot more than we do now. I think as we grew older, we kind of became more just like friends, and he's easy to talk to, he's easy to learn from as an older brother, and vice versa. You know, we're not afraid to get personal with each other because I know he can take it, he knows I can take it. So yeah, banner's definitely changed over the years, but it's grown us a lot closer as brothers and friends.
While they share the same name, their personalities couldn't be more different. Cole is the quiet one, Jax is not.
He likes to run his mouth. Growing up, I didn't have as much patience, and I would give it right back, or we'd get in fist fights. But now that I'm older, you know, it's just one ear out the other, and he just finds another guy to pick on. It's an interesting relationship.
Now, while Cole might not be listening, he says on the ice, he's always watching.
Anytime I see him going back for the puck and, you know, he takes a hit, I'm like, oh, yeah, that is my brother, and I just hope he's okay. But no, there is a different aspect with playing with him where I'm like, yeah, you know, I want to look out for him, you know, being the older brother and do what I can to help him.
Cole is in the midst of his senior season with the Scarlet and Gray, and while he hasn't made any final decisions on what's next of his playing career, he and Jax understand their time together playing competitive puck is coming to an end.
I think it's just every day not taking it for granted, just spending time with him out here and going into every game like it might be our last together. We've been playing together for so long, it's kind of like, will it ever end? But yeah, I guess it's kind of getting to that point. Maybe we should have that conversation.
I'm just trying to enjoy every day at practice, you know, being with my brother, being with, you know, my other family here. So it's been a long, long ride, but, you know, there's still a lot of work to do and just want to finish out the year strong with the national championship.
Joining me here in studio is the captain for the Skatin Rebels and the MVP of the conference, Mattias Monte. Dals, welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me.
First things first, you just saw the piece about the Wyatt brothers. What does it mean when we talk about brotherhood, seeing two real brothers, something you've seen many times over your years here, what it does for the locker room, what it does for the group?
Yeah, it's really special. We always talk about family, use all those sort of metaphors, and for them to kind of live it, it's super cool. And you know, their parents get involved with a lot of our stuff around the team, and you know, they're both great guys that have done a lot for this program.
And speaking of family, speaking of parents, senior night this past weekend, obviously a special moment for all the seniors, you included. First piece of hardware presented to the program. And to answer the question, were they going to touch the trophy? Are they not going to touch the trophy? Superstition or not, you guys put your hands all over that thing.
Yeah, we got all over it. We're not too superstitious, so we figured, hey, we're going to keep on winning. May as well grab this thing.
So I know you guys obviously were aware that you were conference champions for a while now, but how real did it feel in that moment, senior night, back at City National Arena in front of the home crowd, and kind of share that moment? What was that like?
For me personally, it was pretty emotional. You know, having my loved ones there, my family, it meant a lot, and to kind of celebrate with that group. I've had so much fun with these guys this year that that was awesome. And then get to celebrate with the fans too. You know, they've made my experience here so much fun that it was cool.
A little bit of some nostalgia, right? A little bit of, you talked about the emotion of that, but it's back to business now because now things get real, one and done type situation. What is the mindset now compared to this time a year ago, heading into nationals?
I think that this group's just seen a little more ups and downs. You know, you look at our record, you don't really see that. It's a lot of wins, but you know, we've found a way in a lot of games this year. We've been in some tight spots, and so I think just a little more, even though it's a younger group, I think there's a little more maturity in these tight moments. And so we're focused on not getting too high, not getting too low. We're going to run into some adversity at nationals, but we're going to stay level-headed.
I am very curious because this past weekend, your head coach, Anthony Vinieri-Greener, decided to say, hey, we're not going to have that extra rest. We're going to test our mettle. We're going to play one more weekend series against Arizona State. You fall Friday night, but you bounce back in a major way, 9-1 on Saturday. That split. Is that a little kick in the pants you might need before this coming week?
Yeah, 100%, 100%. We were a bit snake-bitten on Friday, couldn't find goals, made too many mistakes that cost us, and it's a good learning experience. I mean, at the end of the day, like, being in the dressing room after that game, I thought the mood was exactly where it needed to be. It was, you know, guys pissed off, knew what was wrong, and knew what we had to do to fix it, and we came out last night and did it.
So, Dels, we've been talking about this for months now. Back to nationals, getting back to that national championship, getting back to that final and overcoming it. You're here now. What is the messaging from you, from the leadership group, and throughout the locker room now as the days really dwindle before game one?
Just trust our depth and, you know, control the controllables. What we have to do is play our best game, and, you know, a lot of teams aren't in that position where they have the depth and the skill that all they need to do is execute. We're lucky enough that we have the roster for it, so we just got to show up, play our best game, and like I said, keep our heads. You know, it's emotional out there, and that's how we beat teams, is we stay more even-keeled than them.
What's the key to that first game? Obviously, you've experienced it a couple times in a variety of ways. What is that first key?
Good week of practice, prep hard, and then just settle in early. Tell the guys, hey, you know, the message is going to be all week. Hey, just focus on your first shift. Get into it early. There's going to be nerves, but once we settle in and play our game, we're rolling.
We'll see how this all shakes out in about a week's time, but when you look back, and I know the job is not done, so there's still plenty more hockey to be had, but when you look back at what this team has accomplished, not only this year, but this program that you were a part of, and the fan support that has grown more seemingly at City National Arena this past weekend, what comes over you, and how do you compartmentalize that now as you get ready for Game 1?
Yeah, it's a good point. I think I just try and kind of store it as fuel. There's so many people associated with the program, like fans, staff, teammates, anyone who supported it. It all means so much to me because this place has done so much for me over the past few years that you just got to try and use it as fire, try and make these people proud and do what I can to elevate the program even further.
Mattias Monte, he is the conference MVP. He is your captain of the Skatin Rebels, and he is a friend of the program forever. Dallas, we appreciate you coming as always. We will be chatting in a week's time to see how this one shakes out. Best of luck at Nationals. We'll chat soon.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it, Vince.
All right, that is Mattias Monte. We are not done here on Hockey in the Desert. When we return, it is time to clear the ice. Stay with us. Time to wrap up Hockey in the Desert Weekly. To do that, we got to clear the ice. And this one was an easy one to find because I challenged you to find something better. Jackson Sapienza wins the faceoff, dekes the defender, and goes top shelf cookies. Selly. So hard. Take another look in slow motion. Look at the skill, the poise, the grace, the skating. Look at the focus, determination, and just the absolute weaponry. Sheaths the sword. Jackson Sapienza once again clearing the ice like it's his job. Maybe one day it will be. We'll see you next week. We enjoyed your time here on Hockey in the Desert.